Welcome back. I'm Grant Reeds, and this is GP Reads, where we read entertainment news so you don't have to. Excuse me today, I have a little bit of a cold, so I may sound a little bit strange, but I will do my best. Today, we'll be going over possible leaks for Deadpool 3, as well as leaked details about the Joker movie, and a few little tidbits about Star Wars. This show being established to save you time, I guess we'll go ahead and get right to it. Ryan Reynolds confirms Deadpool 3 at Marvel Studios. Oh, is that so? Well, let's see what they have to say. There's been a lot of speculation surrounding the release of a third Deadpool movie following Disney's purchase of Fox. Oh yeah, I'm sure they're gonna do a great job with it. Isn't that right, Aura? While the character is a bona fide moneymaker, folks have doubted whether or not Disney would be okay with making a Marvel film that's rated R, not exactly aligning with the rest of Marvel's cinematic universe. However, it looks like everyone at the studio is on board, because Reynolds has now confirmed that Deadpool 3 is in the works. On Christmas Eve, Reynolds appeared on Live with Kelly and Ryan, and he told the two hosts that the whole team was working on Deadpool 3. Not only that, but the film was being brought to life over at Marvel. Yeah, we're working on it right now, with the whole team, Reynolds said. We're over at Marvel Studios now, which is like the big leagues all of a sudden. It's kinda crazy. So yeah, we're working on it. It seemed like a foregone conclusion that Disney would find some way to make more Deadpool movies, regardless of how they fit or don't fit with the MCU. Until Joker arrived this year, Deadpool and Deadpool 2 were the highest grossing rated R movies in box office history, each making more than $780 million around the globe. Well, that's insane. There's no way that Disney would ever pass up on that kind of mass appeal. And I know I'm going to pronounce this name wrong, but Rob Liefeld, the comic writer and artist credited with creating Deadpool, recently said that Disney making more movies with the character was inevitable, no matter what plans the company has for Marvel. You know, I just hope they can get it together, Liefeld told Variety. Fans want it. Fans want to see it. The whole thing about Deadpool is that culture moves so fast now, and 2 years ago feels like 20. There were 2 rated R movies, and they were rated R movies that together made $1.2 billion, and yes, I looked at those and counted them up. Alright, and that's it as far as the article goes. Looks like there might be a Deadpool 3 coming out soon, which would be awesome. Well, could be awesome. It depends on if Disney gives the Disney treatment or not. We saw what they did with Star Wars, so yeah, no. Pretty much. Alright, on to the next topic. The screenplay for Joker has been released online to aid in consideration for awards season. And one of the first things we noticed when flipping through it, the man who, spoilers, shoots Thomas and Martha Wayne in the movie's final act is not named. He is one of a number of nameless punks in clown masks seen in the final scenes. And while this is certainly the way it played out on screen, we had wondered whether Joe Chill, the most common shooter of the Waynes in the comics and other media, would be name-dropped in the screenplay, even though he was not in the film itself. The character could also have been named Jack Napier, we guess, which would have been a really fun way to mess with expectations. In the 1989 Batman movie by Tim Burton, Napier, the Joker's pre-acid Bath criminal identity, was responsible for killing the Waynes as a kid, effectively creating a scenario where he created Batman before Batman created him, by dropping him in the acid. In Joker, the idea that Joker created Batman is still true, albeit slightly less direct, since it is not Arthur Fleck, but one of his copycats who takes aim at Thomas and Martha Wayne outside of the movie theater during a riot. In the film, which just hit digital video on demand services, Joaquin Phoenix plays Arthur Fleck, who descends into madness and emerges as the clown-faced killer known as the Joker. Comicbook.com's Brandon Davis calls the film a masterpiece in his 5-star review, writing, "Whether or not Joker is a social commentary on issues such as poverty or mental illness, a new and mysterious take on the best-known DC Comics villain, or just another unforgettable piece of cinema which producer Martin Scorsese, yeah, I'm gonna butcher that name, was attached to. You'll need to see it to believe it, and even then, you still might not believe it." Alright, I'm gonna skip a section there. It doesn't really pertain to the topic we're getting into, so. Okay. We purposefully set out to leave some things vague and unanswered, Phillips told Deadline. That was a clear intent from the beginning. The director and co-writer opened up in a new interview about the film to coincide with the release of the script, talking about lines from the film that have been embraced by the public and fans of the film. I think a lot of different things about the film have really connected with people, and one of the things I've noticed has really caught on is the idea of what Arthur writes in his notebook. The worst part of a mental illness is that people expect you to behave as if you don't. And that really hit home with me as well. That's That's a powerful line. That really resonated with a lot of people who do suffer from mental illness and saw a little bit of themselves in the movie, or in Arthur, or in his experiences in different ways. I've had so many people write me emails or posts on my Instagram saying, that line is exactly what it feels like. If you have a broken leg, people hold the door open for you, and you clearly have an ailment. But when you have a mental illness, it's a hidden thing. So even when people know you have it, they just expect you to behave as if you don't. They don't see it on you, and often, they don't see you at all. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like that article actually answers that question. It's seems the answer is actually more along the lines of, we're not going to name him, we're going to keep him ambiguous, because that's what we had planned, is to keep some things secret, so I guess he's not going to be named. That's kind of clickbait, but actually that could be a discussion we could start in the comments below. Who do you think killed Batman's parents? I'll be down in the chat, as well as Ara, and for those of you who don't know, Ara is my turkey vulture. Okay, had to open up the last segment in Brave because of all the ads, so I'll probably be using Brave from now on. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is now out in theaters, and you would think the focus of fan discourse would be squarely focused on it, and director J.J. Abrams. However, the release of The Rise of Skywalker has inevitably rekindled the controversy over Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and the bold decisions that director Rian Johnson made with that film. Bold. Oh yeah, they were definitely bold. More like canon destroying, you know. That's pretty bold. Those who liked Last Jedi feel even more validated after seeing The Rise of Skywalker return to fan service nostalgia. Fans who hated Last Jedi are happy to see the ways that The Rise of Skywalker course-corrected what Rian Johnson tried to do. That wide divide in the fandom has played itself out on Twitter, with Rian Johnson once again being trolled hard over his interpretation of Star Wars. However, crashing against that tide of anger and resentment is a social media movement housed under the hashtag #ThankYouRianJohnson for killing Snoke, I guess? And it's gotten big enough that Rian Johnson himself is feeling the love. And here's a tweet from Rian Johnson. Endlessly awed by your passion, creativity, anger, joy, positivity, excitement, engagement, and love. You continuously defy every cynical narrative. You're the best. #Thank you, Star Wars fans. And just for the record, I don't hate Rian Johnson. I just don't agree with him, and I like reading things in a silly voice. Okay, back to it. As a whole, the Star Wars sequel trilogy has easily been the most divisive of the entire 3-volume Skywalker saga. Whether it's the new Disney ownership, the decisions of the franchise's 2 directors, J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson, or the state of the fandom itself, and that pesky internet. We just can't seem to agree on the topic of Star Wars anymore. However you may feel about The Last Jedi, The Lat Jedi? Wow, what a good writer. Everyone makes mistakes. Anyway, it's good to at least see Rian Johnson getting just as much love from the fans as he does hate. If nothing else, the continued impassioned divide over The Last Jedi may be the best testament yet to Johnson having created a piece of cinematic art within a big budget studio franchise. After all, art isn't ever universally loved. But it's great art. Well, I understand not hating on Star Wars just for the sake of hating it, and I understand the casual perspective of just having a good film or an entertaining film, but for those actual fans of Star Wars, you can't just break the canon, because then it's not what they love anymore. It's become something else. It's like giving someone a pizza, but instead of giving them a tomato-based cheesy pie, they just make it out of different food. You know what I mean? It's the same shape, it seems similar, but it's not the thing they come for. It's not the thing they love. It's like a Star Wars flavored movie instead of actual Star Wars. And that's our show for today. If you'd like to discuss any of today's topics, leave us a comment below and we will get back to you. We read every single comment. If you'd like to see more entertainment news, reviews, and reactions, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. Also remember to check out our Patreon and our shirt store. We still have all these awesome goat designs, but it will only be into the end of January, and then we'll be switching to a new design. As always, it's been a pleasure having you today, and I look forward to seeing you again.